I'm Amanda from Trifecta Fitness. We're proud to be Clarksville's new Get Fit headquarters. Trifecta Fitness is a state-of-the-art spin and strength training studio. Our spin studio is truly one of a kind in this area, complete with 20 state-of-the-art live fitness bikes and an incredible sound system. Our strength training is done in small groups of 6 or fewer, and all of our strength and spin classes are scalable for every level of experience. Come see us in the heart of Clarksville, just behind MAPCO at the corner of Old Trenton Road and Wilma Rudolph Boulevard. Call us for more info at 931-542-6265 or download our Trifecta Fitness app for a full list of upcoming classes.
In October 2019, Arlington, Texas was chosen to be the home of a new national museum, unlike any other. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a unique home of military history. The 100,000 square foot museums will house exhibits, archives, and artifacts relating to the 3,500 U.S. troops who have been awarded the medal, the nation's highest honor for valor in combat. The museum will have 31,000 square feet of galleries dedicated to U.S. troops who have received the award. The museum CEO, former Navy SEAL and NASA astronaut Chris Cassidy, said the museum will focus on education as much as preservation. The building will have 5 areas dedicated to Medal of Honor winners from the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. The main gallery will be located in a central plaza under a 25,000 square foot slab of steel, which will appear to be suspended in midair. It will be supported by 5 pillars. Black Rifle Coffee is a corporate sponsor of the museum, as are the Dallas Cowboys. The museum's board also includes over a dozen major corporations and 6 Medal of Honor recipients, including David Bellavia, Patrick Brady, and Britt Slabinski. Army Staff Sergeant Bellavia was awarded the medal for clearing an entire house by himself on November 10, 2004, as a squad leader in support of Operation Phantom Fury in Fallujah, Iraq. He killed 4 enemy fighters and wounded a 5th in close quarters battle. Army Major General Brady flew and coordinated the evacuation of 51 seriously wounded men during a firefight in Vietnam in January 1968. Slabinski, a Navy SEAL chief and team leader, led a rescue team of SEALs during Operation Anaconda in Afghanistan in March 2002. Slabinski and his team flew to a mountaintop ambush site to rescue Petty Officer First Class Neil Roberts, who had fallen from the back of a helicopter. Slabinski led the team through almost constant combat against an entrenched Taliban force. Along with the board members, former presidents Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama serve as honorary directors. The museum is expected to open to the public in late 2024.
All right. Welcome back.
Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation. The Misfit Nation Show.
We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by 2 veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their stories to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the Misfit Nation. If you're a musician or an actor, our audience need to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share your tips with the Misfit Nation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you are a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and show how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you are a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and share your story with the Misfit Nation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or feel embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you are a new listener, welcome to the Misfit Nation Show. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast app. Also on our YouTube channel at @the_Misfit Nation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date on our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show!
All right. The Tuesday crew is here, hosted by Stephen LaMonica and Jay Collin. It is a Misfit Nation production that brings powerful stories of grit, resilience, and leadership to life. Steven is a business leader and YouTube consigliere, ensures the show runs smoothly, providing real-time feedback and maintaining discipline during live broadcasts. Jake, a 25-year Army veteran and former EOD tech. We call him Hurt Locker. We call him Lacey. Offers deep insights from his extensive service, which includes multiple combat deployments and VIP missions around the globe. Together, they welcome guests from diverse backgrounds to share their journeys, inspiring listeners with stories of overcoming adversity and leading with purpose. Whether you're tuning in for the insightful discussions or to enjoy Steven's passion for NASCAR or Jake's anecdotes from his farm in Kentucky, the Tuesday Crew delivers a unique blend of entertainment and inspiration every week. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the Tuesday Crew. All right. The Tuesday Crew is live. It's our third day of our Veteran Week show. It's our fourth veteran coming on. The guys have a great one tonight. She's local to our area in Clarksville, and they're going to bring out everything she has done in her past in the military and what she's doing now outside the military. And on another good note, it seems crazy to say this, but in a week since President Trump was elected, we have 0 police officers or first responders killed in line of duty. That's 0. And so this is a first for the Misfit Nation, not having to have memorials. So, boys, I want a pumped up show. Jake, Steve, let's get it going.
Thank you. Good evening. How are you doing,
Good
Steve?
evening, Misfit Nation.
Yes, good evening, and welcome to our Veterans Week Tuesday show.
Yes.
And we want to take this chance. We want to thank all veterans past and present that are out there. We love you. Thank you for your service. And if you're still serving, keep doing what you do. You are very, very much appreciated.
Yes. Thank you all. So you were, for lack of a better term, slaughtering chickens, though. Did you have a good day doing that?
Oh, yeah. I love killing chickens. Hey.
I went shopping. Did this chick slaughter chickens all day? I'm like, what the hell?
Chickens and cattle, if you ever raise chickens or cattle, you'll understand why we eat them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's always a joy.
I don't think I'm allowed to have cattle in my backyard here, though.
We'll get you zoned agriculture. Hey, it can be your emotional support animal.
My emotional support cow.
And
that would be excellent.
You're going to need one if Joey Logano keeps winning.
Yeah.
I had to slip that in there, Stephen.
Of course you did.
We get you a mini cow.
I've been watching videos with them. They are damn cute.
Yes, they are. Hey, I want to remind everybody to like and subscribe and share. Join the Misfit Nation if you're joining us on the recorded broadcast. Thank you for joining us, and we'd like to thank all of our guests out there for joining us live. And let's talk about Amanda. She is she's amazing. She was in the Army. She was a pediatrician. She also worked with aviators, being their doc for a while. Got out of the Army. Now she's an author, and her latest book is about, I think it's focused on kids in the military. It's let me get the name of it here. It is Cul-de-sac Kids. And, it talks about the life of a military brat. And I think that we ought to just get Amanda in here and let her tell her story. I'm sure she could tell it better than we can.
I was going to say, she's sitting there all smiles, waiting to get on the damn stage.
I know. Welcome, Amanda.
I got people not allowed in my house right now because I'm on, and I'm not even on.
Hey, can I give a shout out? Hey, before we get started, can I give a shout out real quick? My grandson, Jax, had surgery earlier this week, and he's doing good. And I just want to tell him hi and that I love him.
Oh,
All right. Thank you. That's
you're
enough.
welcome. Thank you for having me. I have to start with I have chickens.
Okay.
Because everybody knows me as the crazy chicken lady or the lady who brings them free eggs. My friends love me. So yes, I understand. I don't kill mine though because they're all named, and um, I can't kill them. As a matter of fact, if they have problems, my husband has to kill them.
Well, we keep separate. We've got about 45 laying hens, and then we raised 50 meat birds.
Okay. Wow, 50. That's a lot of birds to dispatch.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's not me.
Hey, come on up to Katie's sometime and we'll learn you how to do it.
If I ever need to learn, I'll keep you in mind, but pretty sure I'm gonna stick with the layers.
All
But
right.
chickens are a new thing in my life though. I did not have those until after I got out. So yeah, my story is basically always wanted to be a doctor. Never planned on joining the military. And my mom talked me into applying for a scholarship, and I got it. And then I had to decide what I was going to do with my life. And I had 1 year to kind of test the waters in ROTC in college, and I loved it. I honestly loved it. I grew up a tomboy, though. I mean, so grew up on a farm. I was, my daddy's shadow, so hunting, fishing. So I loved it. Ended up going to med school, and then was basically told after my pediatric residency that I didn't have much of a choice in what I was going to do. I was going operational. I was going to be taking care of soldiers. I was not going to be a pediatrician. So I just spent 3 years of my life learning how to be a pediatrician, and then they threw me to the wolves, which happens frequently because in the Army, if you are a general practice doctor, you take care of soldiers. So the colonel that I was having this discussion with, sir, I want to be a pediatrician. Amanda, you have no choice. Basically said, go aviation because you do not want to get stuck deployed with the infantry. So here I am. I went to Fort Campbell and I have never left. Well, other than when I went to Afghanistan and Iraq, but basically I've been here since 2010. Not really by my choice. I mean, I wanted to stay, but Big Army it just happened this way. Been deployed twice, came home from the first deployment to a divorce, came home from the second deployment to a marriage. So yeah. And worked my way up at Blanchfield, and I was the chief of pediatrics in 2018, and that's when I fell and hit my head. And that's kind of the end of my Army career. I spent 3 more years in the Army, but I was in the SRU is what it's called now. It used to be the WTB, WTU. It's called the SRU, Soldier Recovery Unit now. My last 3 years was with them, trying to get back to work and dealing with COVID. Because at that point it was all hands on deck. So I was trying to do as much as I could, but I can't do what the bean counters need me to do. So in the end, I was medically retired, and now I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. It's like graduating high school all over again in your 40s. So, so that's
Well,
my story in a nutshell.
don't feel alone in that, because I retired after 25 years, and the day after I retired, I still did not know what I wanted to be when I grew up.
Right? It's a big decision. I mean, I I, I know now looking back that I'm not happy with how medicine is nowadays. I should have been Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. I know a lot of the kids nowadays and a lot of the younger soldiers or people listening to this have no idea who that even is. Um, but like I am 100 years after where I should have been. I do not belong in this generation of doctors. I should have been a small town doctor. Like this whole business and all of the red tape, it's not me. And I think God made me hit my head, and
So you're talking Little House on the
there's a
Prairie,
path.
walking around with the doctor's bag, going house to house, making house calls. That's what you wanted to do?
Yeah, that would have totally been me. Totally. With my horse and buggy. Yeah. But I can't deal with the business side of things. It's just not me. So after my head injury, my husband deployed 5 days after. So I had 9 months of going through significant head injury symptoms. Most people think, I'm gonna get better, whatever. I went back to work. I shouldn't have. But I was the chief of pediatrics. I had to go back to work. I didn't have a choice in my mind. And then my boss, who is now my doctor, told me after I nearly passed out at work, you're not coming back to work until you're cleared by a neurologist. And I really never went back to seeing patients full time after that. A month went by, and the neurologist said, yeah, most people get better in a month, but 97% of people get better in 3 months. 3 months go by, and they put me into the TBI clinic, and my boss wanted to put me in the WTU and basically hand over my position, to one of my colleagues. And of course, I bawled my eyes out because I didn't want to go to the WTU or WTB is what it was called at that point, because it doesn't always have the best connotation. Being in it now, I realize that it's not a bunch of dirtbags. A lot of the people there actually do have issues. But a lot of people don't realize that it really does have, or it did back then have that connotation of that's where kind of the people who are trying to get out go. And I was like, I don't want to be thought of that way. I don't want people to think that I'm faking this, because I already did have, there were a few of my colleagues that basically were telling everyone that I was faking it. And
yeah, the Army, that's the big thing that I saw in the Army. I came in 1986, and if you went to sick call, I mean, that was like a kiss of death.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, walk it off. You're not hurt, and just drive on. And I think we need to get out of that mentality.
Right. Well, sick call is a little different now. I will tell you, in aviation, you have a much lower sick call level than in the line units, because usually the people on flight status are hiding from you because they don't want you to know what's wrong with them. You're the enemy, and you have to really get to be friends with all of your flight status folks to get a little inside information, or else they won't let you know if they're hurt. But I think that the invisible things like a head injury, PTSD, those kinds of things. It's really easy to think that somebody's faking it when you know, see them at the grocery store and there's nothing wrong with them. But I have battled, I mean, for 6 weeks, I didn't drive. I was sitting in an empty house by myself in the dark. And luckily, my husband's family is local. And we'd been married about a year and a half when I hit my head. And they helped me through it. And even he was like, I think you're over exaggerating, until he was with me the first time I was having a migraine in his presence. And he realized how dumb I am when I'm in the midst of a migraine. I am a worthless human being. I can't function. I can't do anything. I don't make sense. I wander around. I can't find words. I'm just, he literally grabbed me by the shoulders, walked me to the couch and said, "You need to sit down. You're in my way. Let me make dinner." Because he finally realized that I wasn't exaggerating, that when I did have the migraines, and I had daily migraines for 8 months. I was just, it was horrible. But now I'm down to maybe one a month, one every 2 months. I have a nice little regimen I'm on, and my memory is not great. I'm on Alzheimer's medication for my memory. Concentration and focus all over the place. So there may be an occasional, squirrel here and there during the show.
That's me all day long, though. So I'm used to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I get
mean,
made fun of all the time for buffering.
Buffering. Hey, that's a good one. I'm going to use that.
Please do.
Yeah,
Please do.
I like that. But
Yeah, but he does it mid-conversation. He'll just be like, and then he'll wake up again.
hey, to each his own.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a question in here from Suck It Up B Cup. You said in 2010 you arrived at God's Country in Fort Campbell. Were you stationed anywhere else before here?
Yes, prior to here, I did my residency in Hawaii at Tripler. So I did med school and then I went active. So I was at Tripler for 3 years. Then I came here, and I've been here ever since.
Man, that must have sucked.
Actually, it did. I spent about 80 hours a week inside. So I was as white as a ghost. So yeah, my neighbor literally called me Casper.
Okay. Now,
my daughter gets upset when I call her Casper, and she's outside all the time. She just gets no color. She was yelling at me the other day when I called her Casper. I don't like that.
So when did you decide to start writing?
Well, my first book, I actually have them both here. My first book is Hot Mess to Wellness, which is probably backwards in the camera.
No,
it's fine. No, it's fine.
Oh, cool. Awesome. So Hot Mess to Wellness is my first book, and it is a wellness book. Both my books are available on Amazon. And honestly, at my lowest point, I was like, I have got to do something and pull myself out. And I was like, I need to eat better. I need to take better care of myself. I need a plan. And so I went to the bookstore to find a plan, the doctor who already knows all of this stuff, and couldn't find just a simple plan. Everything was like P90X this and keto that. And I was like, no, I don't want all this fancy stuff. And so I started writing my own plan. And then I ended up Googling, how do I write a book? because I had 4 pages already. And I ended up writing this book. It's each chapter is a different, what I call pillar of wellness. It starts out with mindfulness, relaxation, hydration, the right foods, which I'll tell you right now, I'm horrible about eating those. I should do what I say, because I'm one of those do what I say, not what I do people. I don't follow my own advice very well, but most doctors are that way. So yeah, this book, whether it ever helps another person or not, pulled me out of my lowest point when I was going through an identity crisis, because I was starting to realize that I was never going to be a doctor again in clinic. I was never going to be that person. And it was really, really hard for me to admit that. And even after writing this book, it probably was still another year before I was able to admit that I was not going to practice medicine in the way I had done it in the past.
And that's got to be tough.
Yeah, especially when my husband's still doing it. My husband is basically the male version professionally of me. He is a pediatrician, a flight surgeon. He's done a lot more time with line units. He's gone back and forth between the hospital and the units. But watching him continue to practice medicine, well, there are days that I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I don't have to do that. But it's hard. I miss it a lot. I loved my kids. I loved my babies. That's why I became a pediatrician, obviously. So I do miss it, but I think my calling, I guess, is the way a lot of people would phrase it, is this new book, my Cul-de-sac Kids. My first book, and that is Chloe the Military Brat. And so this book, I want to make a series. Cul-de-sac Kids would be the series. I want this book and this series to be there for the kids of military families, to help a lot of these kids see that they are not alone. They're not abnormal. There is a lot of mental health need. I saw as a pediatrician, a lot of these kids have a lot of issues with having to go to new schools, having to make new friends. And this first book starts out with Chloe literally screaming at her mom, I don't want to move again. So I'm hoping that these books I can get out to the kids, they can relate. This first book really, and the mom is divorced and is a single mom, and Chloe has to live in 2 different houses. So she's dealing with that. So it's not even just military kids. Any kid who has to move to a new place or has divorced parents. I'm hoping it will help kind of normalize some of the issues that the kids face. And I don't know if it's going to help, but even if it helps 1 or 2 kids, then I guess it's done what I want it to do. And at my next book, I'm actually in the process of writing the second one. We're going to discuss deployment, and one of her good friends' dad deploys. And so all of these things that kids have to go through, and they can see how she journals. Journaling is one of the things that helps her, a healthy way for her to get through her emotions. And she has her dog and her cat. So, and she talks with her mom. They have a healthy relationship because It's hard for a young girl and her mom to have a healthy relationship. That's just hard in and of itself.
Yes.
So I'm hoping it'll help.
Now I'm showing my age here, but you get a couple books in that, get a few books in that series, you could be the next Beverly Cleary.
Yes. Absolutely.
I think
Yeah.
when I was a kid and went to school, that was a big thing, especially in elementary school. After we would eat at noon and have our recess or whatever, we'd come in, and to settle down for about usually a half hour, 45 minutes, the nuns would read to us. And
Yeah.
we had one that really liked Beverly Cleary and the Ramona the Pest books. So yeah, I've had all of those probably read to
Awesome.
me. I got another question
Okay.
that popped up. This is from, I can't even see them letters, but anyway, is or was
NBTS9.
Is or was Chloe based on an actual child, or maybe a combination of children that you interacted with?
Maybe it might. So I do have a daughter who actually lives with her father. Some of her mannerisms might be based off of just watching my daughter grow up. I tried not to make any stories real. Because you don't want to do that. But I would say yes, some of her mannerisms might very well be based off of my daughter. Um, just because that's what I know, and so subconsciously I may have done that. Yeah, probably. Because she's the one I've been around the most.
Yeah.
Either that or me as a child. And then what I really focus on too in the book, which is not exactly like my life, is the parents in the book they work well together to make life good for the child. With the divorce. Because as we all know, divorce is hard and it's very, very difficult on the child. And the better the parents work together, the better it is for the child. So
yes,
that, although most of that is all made up.
Trust me,
and we'll leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that.
Hey, these questions keep rolling in. Got another one from Was Up 88 on X. What is your writing process, and how do you approach your writing?
Oh goodness. Well, I actually used see, I'm doing the buffering. I used self-publishing. It's called selfpublishing.com. It was self-publishing school when I started. And it is a program, you have to obviously pay to use their courses. And my first book, I published, I'm self-published with both of them, which is why I haven't sold very many books, because I am not great at marketing. But self-publishing school is what I used. I used their courses, and they do mind mapping and beginning with an outline, and then just starting. I would like to hone my skills, and I'm actually looking at going back to school, believe it or not, something I swore I'd never do. And I am thinking about getting my master's in fine arts, creative writing, and I'm looking at schools now and possibly going in this summer or fall of next year just because if I'm going to do this, I might as well do it right.
Yeah.
Well, there really is no right
So
or wrong. You're going to do it or you're not going to do it. There's no right or wrong about doing it. It can take you 3 years to write 5 pages. It can take you 5 minutes to write 5 pages. You know?
yeah, I want to get better. I want to be able to, I want the books to be well written. And I'm not an author. Well, I am. I'm a published author.
Yes, you
But
are.
Yeah.
but I'm not I guess I feel like I want to learn more. I'm kind of a perfectionist. Which kind of goes along with the whole type A personality and whatnot. So I'm thinking about going back to school and just honing my skills, getting a little bit better um, in writing. Really, I'll have to look into that. I didn't know.
They're not just
That'll
known
be.
for their football.
Hey, I know folks that have gone to Austin P, and I didn't realize they had a writing program though, and that's funny because I've been looking at all these online schools. So I'll have to learn something new every day.
And it's what, if you got to show up, it's what, 30-minute drive from your house.
Right? Yeah, and I can, eat lunch at one of the places downtown or
Yeah. And our producer's daughter graduated with a creative writing degree there.
Well, hey. All right. I'm definitely going to have to look into that.
And
Wow.
they're
Awesome.
definitely veteran friendly there.
Well, yeah, no kidding. Awesome. Wow. All this
She's on her
research I've been
second book
doing.
now.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Lexi's working on her second book right now.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. Very cool. Wow. Well, hey, I'm glad I learned that. So I'm at this point, I'm just working on writing books and also taking care of a family member who's ill, helping to take care of her. And one day at a time.
Yeah. Now you're hot mess to wellness.
Yes.
Have you ever thought of expanding on that and maybe writing kind of a homeopathic type book? Or because I'm a firm believer in that from experience. We raise everything that we eat. And when I'm at home, I feel great. About 3 days into a TDY trip, I feel like crap.
All the processed foods.
Yes. And I think there's a lot to be said on that. And
I don't know that I'm an expert enough in that kind of. I'm horrible. I'm horrible.
We're all horrible.
And you don't even want to know how the rest of the family eats. I'm the only person in this house that eats vegetables, I swear.
I actually had vegetables this evening. I was proud of myself.
Oh, yeah. My husband will literally. Well, let's just put it this way. One day his boys walked into the house. They were here for one of the holidays. And his oldest son literally said, "Oh, Miss Amanda's trying to poison us. There's something green in a pan on the stove." Like, really? Really? I swear.
They're called peas. They mix with carrots. It's okay.
Yes. Yes. Another question: how can parents find more information about your book series?
My book, all my books are on AL Zeine. So my first initial, middle initial, last name, ALZine books.com is my website. It talks about me and kind of a little bit on my story. There is direct link to both of the books. And then there's also a resources page for military families. The few resources so far I've found, and if anyone knows of more and wants to shoot me an email, that's also available on the page. I'm happy to add more resources if somebody knows of better resources than I have, because we all need help sometimes. It takes a village.
That it does.
So yeah, but I don't know what else.
We can. So, how many chickens do you have?
I only have 7 right now. I wanted to get more this year, but with everything going on with family stuff, I just didn't have time to get more. At most I've had was 12. My husband purposely built a small run so that I could not get too many.
We started out that way.
Oh, there's no getting any bigger. I was already told if I want more chickens, I have to build it myself.
Well,
And
there's
I was
how-to
also
books for
told
that,
the last
too.
time I went. What's that?
There's how-to books for that too.
Yes, there.
And then he told me the last time I went to the auction with some friends that if I brought home anything that was living and breathing, I was going to find out what it tasted like for dinner. He's the one that has to take care of these animals when I'm down. So I have to respect that. I mean, if I get a bad enough migraine, I might be down for a few days. And so I have to respect that he, and if I go anywhere.
Yeah.
So
Who knows?
and my
Who knows?
family's not local.
In a couple years, you might be out doing book signing tours, and
I know, right? He'll be like, chickens are gone.
Come back and there's a big pot of soup on the stove. So what happened to chickens?
Right. No, he's actually gotten pretty good about taking care of them. He does a pretty good job with them.
that's book signing tours at farmers markets selling eggs.
There you go. Except right now I'm getting like 1 egg a day because they're all molting.
We went through that. Ours molted like 2 or 3 times this year. And it's like, come on, ladies.
Oh, my
And-
smallest hen that is the worst mother. I tried to let her have chicks last year and had to take them away from her because the other chickens were attacking them. Was broody all summer.
You know how to fix that?
I don't know because
No, I know. I'm going to give you a tip on
Okay.
how to fix it.
all right.
Get you a pan of cold water, like
Okay.
a Dutch oven or something tall. And when
Uh-huh.
because their body heat gets real high when they're broody.
Oh yeah. She stripped her belly. Uh-huh.
You take her and dunk her and hold her in that water. Leave her head out to where she can breathe, but just hold her in that water and cool her off. And it fixes them.
Okay.
Got me. I wouldn't know anything about that.
He's like, I got nothing.
I got nothing on that.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah,
I've
well,
held
I
people's heads
occasionally sit
underwater,
out
but-
and watch the chickens while I'm writing. They also helped me. So with the head injury, they were therapy for me. They helped me get through it all. People think I'm crazy. I'm the crazy chicken lady, but they really did help me.
There's times that I sit out in the yard with a little bitty, I got a little Tupperware cup that I dump mealworms into. I'll sit out in the yard with my cup of mealworms on a 5-gallon bucket and a couple beers and feed the chickens. That's that's therapy. So, hey, Amanda, we have talked, you talked about your writing process. and we talked about your military career and how you kind of overcame your injury and your medical retirement and stuff. I'm going to try to get you to peddle a little bit of advice, maybe to somebody out there that's having the same issue, is getting medically retired or is getting forced out of the service against their will. What's 3 things that can make that transition better?
Ooh. Yeah, it is a hard transition. And even being in the SRU, the Wounded Warrior Project was a great resource. And then the VSO, finding your veteran service office. Ours is down by the library here in Clarksville. Getting down there and sitting down with the person in there and making sure that you know what you need to do, when you need to do it, and how all that is supposed to be working. And even with all that, I still was paying for a root canal before I realized I had dental insurance. Yeah. I paid for my portion of the root canal, not realizing I'm 100% because I cannot work at this point. I cannot be employed as by profession at this point. And I didn't realize that that meant I had vision and dental, because it's just simple, small things that no one thinks to tell you. And so trying to get a hold of all those resources are huge, and obviously getting in with the VA for medical.
Yes.
So and using there's the oh, words are hard. Sorry. The folks that help you get job placement and whatnot.
Okay.
Use that. I didn't, because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my life. And they wanted to do something along the lines of what my degree was. And I was like, but I can't. They wanted to help me be able to get a job as a physician with help for my disabilities. But my problem was there's no disability that you can claim in the I can only see a patient in an hour instead of 20 minutes. Like you just got to see. So using the resources that you have are definitely something that everyone needs to do.
All right. Well, hey, I think we're going to back on out of here. I wish you the best of luck.
Well, thank you.
It's been a great chat.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to. I'm going to get on. And I'll probably read the hot mess to wellness. I will probably give the other book to one of my grandchildren.
Okay, that would be awesome.
Make them write a book report on it or something.
That sounds great.
And this week we're focused on veterans. I want to thank you again for your service. Thank you for putting that uniform on and saying I will. And we really appreciate that. And to all the veterans out there listening right now, thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for joining us this evening. And we love you. We love you, MisFit Nation.
Yes, we do. Have a great night.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Did you serve in the military? If so, you can obtain a free lifetime pass to more than 2,000 federal recreation sites. These sites are located across more than 400 million acres of public lands, including national parks, wildlife refuges, and forests. The lands host activities to fit any lifestyle: hiking, biking, fishing, camping, and much more. Gold Star families are also eligible for these free lifetime passes. Plus, they cover entrance fees for a driver and all passengers in a car, or up to 3 additional adults at sites that charge per person. Obtaining one is easy. Just go to the National Park Service website, nps.gov, or the National Park Service app.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation Show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are
Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.